I still remember my very first day stepping into the operating room as a nurse. The air smelled sterile, the steady hum of monitors filled the room, and the team moved with quiet focus and precision. It felt like a world where every second counted and where mistakes simply couldn't happen. In the operating room, safety isn't just a rule, it's a promise we make to every patient. One of the most important tools that helps keep that promise is the WHO Surgical Safety Checklist. At first glance, it might just seem like a simple list of steps to follow, but it's so much more than that. This checklist has saved countless lives and is the backbone of how we ensure every surgery goes as planned. Before surgery even begins, we start with what we call the sign-in phase. This is the first line of defense, where we pause and confirm everything about the patient, from their identity to their allergies, medical history, and whether all the necessary equipment is ready and available. You'd be surprised how easy it is to make a mix-up, especially in busy hospitals. I once had 2 patients with almost identical names scheduled for surgery on the same day. Without this check, we could have prepared the wrong patient. Catching even small details beforehand can prevent serious complications later. Next comes the timeout phase, a moment that truly saves lives. Just before the surgeon makes the first incision, everything stops. Every single member of the surgical team, from the surgeon to the anesthetist, nurses, and technicians, takes a moment to double-check critical information. We confirm we are operating on the correct body part, ensure everyone understands the surgical plan, and discuss any concerns before starting. I vividly remember a timeout when I caught a critical mistake seconds before surgery began. The draping had been positioned on the wrong side of the patient. If I hadn't spoken up, we would have started on the wrong side. That moment of pause saved the patient from a devastating error, and it's exactly why timeout is non-negotiable. After the surgery, we move into the sign-out phase. This is when nurses like me become hyper-focused on making sure nothing is left behind. We count every instrument, scalpels, sponges, needles, everything must be accounted for. We verify the procedure was performed correctly and review post-operative care instructions. Most importantly, we confirm the patient is stable and ready to be moved safely to recovery. There have been times I stayed behind in the operating room to double-check instrument counts just to be absolutely sure. This sense of responsibility is heavy, but it's one we take very seriously. The WHO Surgical Safety Checklist isn't just paperwork, it's a lifeline. It prevents avoidable errors, encourages teamwork, and reassures patients that their safety is our top priority. More than anything, it empowers nurses like me to speak up when something doesn't feel right. Sometimes, it's the nurse who notices a detail no one else sees. Sometimes, it's the nurse who must find the courage to speak up. And sometimes, that one moment can change everything for a patient. I've worked long enough in the operating room to know that mistakes can happen even with the most experienced teams. The key is having systems in place to catch those mistakes before they cause harm. That's why I trust the WHO Surgical Safety Checklist. It reminds me and my team that no matter how intense, complicated, or urgent the surgery is, we must always stop, double-check, and communicate openly. Knowing that if I raise a concern, my team will listen, that's what keeps our patients safe. If you want to hear more real stories from the operating room, get insights on nursing, and learn practical tips on patient safety, subscribe to my newsletter and visit my blog at CrystalRN. Because safety in the operating room isn't just a protocol, it's a promise we live by every day.